So as I've been reporting to you guys, Kevin Federline is releasing a new tell-all memoir next week. And ahead of this book release, he has been doing little interviews revealing some disturbing information about Britney Spears. But more specifically, he is talking about the reasons why their kids wanted nothing to do with her. There are plenty of reasons as to why Britney's kids decided that they did not want to go live with her. They did not want to visit her. They didn't even want to talk to her anymore. And the reasons as to why are very disturbing. Now, we went over one of these reasons yesterday because apparently one of their kids, Sean Preston, at the age of 11, had to go to his dad and beg his dad. He had to go to Kevin Federline and begged Kevin Federline to make Britney stop forcing him to take baths with her. This is at the age of 11, when he was like a middle schooler, okay? His mother would force him or make him take baths with her. And she got mad about it at one point when he didn't want to and punched him in the face. So he had to go to his dad to try to get this to stop because Britney would not stop making him take baths with her. So Kevin Federline had to step in and stop that from happening. And there's a lot of other things that he had to step in and stop from happening. You see, we've been fed this narrative that Gay Fed is this deadbeat that didn't really care about his kids and all this stuff. We've been fed this narrative from Britney fans for years. But through my research, well before this book was released, I realized that Kevin was actually a good father, that actually cared about his kids, that did everything to make their upbringing as normal as possible. He did whatever he could to keep them out of the limelight and out of the craziness. We see so many celebrity kids turn into absolute wackos, right? He shielded Britney's kids from the dangers of Hollywood and everything like that. I think that Kevin Federline was actually a good father, especially considering what he was dealing with, as people painted him out to be this evil villain, when in reality he was doing all he could to raise these kids while Britney was spiraling out of control doing drugs and, she was just mentally unstable. So we know a few things. We know that she was forcing the kids to take baths with her. We know that in the middle of the night, the kids would wake up and she would be staring at them in their doorway holding a knife. And then she would run off or skip away like crazy horror movie, psychotic possession type stuff. Like you would think this woman was possessed by a freaking demon. And her kids were so scared that not only did they not want to live with her, they did not even want to visit her for the weekend. They did not want to spend the night. As soon as they were old enough to make their own decision, they stopped talking to her altogether because of what she put them through. And now we're finding out just a little bit more. I want to go ahead and dive into this article because, like I said, Kevin Federline has been sitting down doing interviews ahead of this book release, and he reveals new info in this article right here. Before I dive into the article, though, I know a lot of you have been here enjoying my Britney Spears content for years. And if you're one of those people, please do me a favor. I am here, I entertain you guys, I inform you about all of Britney's crazy doings. I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, drop a comment, share the video on social media. Right now, everyone is trying to rally around Britney again, acting like her behavior is normal. They're trying to attack K-Fed. They're attacking Britney's kids as we speak. We need a sane voice out there. So please share this video. And also, if you're feeling generous, if you've really enjoyed these videos over the years, you could always consider donating via Cash App or Super Thanks It's always greatly appreciated. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and dive into this article and find out a little bit more. Kevin Federline accuses Britney Spears of wishing her kids dead and punching son Sean Preston. Kevin Federline made a slew of bombshell allegations that Britney Spears mistreated their sons, Sean Preston and Jaden James, on multiple occasions in his new tell-all memoir. The former backup dancer describes in detail multiple alleged incidents of alarming behavior from Britney towards their sons, including repeatedly feeding them shellfish despite them being allergic to it, and ignoring in general that Jaden had serious allergies. He claims that Jaden, now age 19, was also hospitalized as a child when he was with Britney in Louisiana, alleging that while they told Jaden he was hospitalized for allergies, in reality he had actually gotten a hold of pills. Whether they were Britney's or someone else's, I will never know, Federline writes. He further claims that Britney overly babied Jaden, keeping him in diapers well after he was potty trained. Later, she would frequently wake up in the middle of the night and try to put a diaper on him, or she would drag him into her room to keep her company. This had gone on his whole life at that point. Just one more thing that required my intervention to stop, Federline claims. It was a pattern. She'd pull him into her room at all hours, leaving Preston alone. The imbalance in her attention towards them was beyond frustrating. It was harmful, he said. Federline describes one incident in which he claims Britney barged into his home unannounced when he wasn't there. His wife, Victoria Prince, the kids, and their nanny were at home, according to him. Britney somehow got through their security while wearing a corset top and Daisy Dukes so short that Vic could see everything, all of her private parts. No underwear, he claims, of Spears' outfit at the time. She had on no underwear, one boob was hanging out of a ripped shirt, in one hand she was holding a single purple, oh my God. In one hand, she was holding a single purple diaper for Jaden, who hadn't worn diapers in over a year. Federline claims Britney undressed Jaden in front of everyone and put him in a diaper without saying a single word. It scared their other kid, Sean Preston, so he went and hid from his mother in the basement. I want to pause right there. Whew, this is a lot. This is a lot. You know, finding out yesterday that allegedly she was forcing one of her kids, one of her sons, at the age of 11 to take baths with her, to take showers with her, that was bad enough. Now, I had heard in the past that she would put diapers on her kids well past the time that they were potty trained. But I had not heard this story. So she shows up to their house. Jaden had not been wearing diapers for over a year. And she strips this kid naked in front of everyone and makes him wear nothing but a purple diaper. And the other kid goes and hides in the basement. And everyone's kind of standing around shocked. You got Britney. Her vajayjay is showing. She has no panties on. Her boobs hanging out the side of her shirt. And now she's forcing a kid who had not worn diapers in over a year to strip butt naked and put on a diaper in front of his brother and the nanny and the stepmom and whoever else was at the home. It's so disturbing, the stuff that she was doing to these kids. And I thank God that they had a father like Kevin Federline who knew better to separate them from Britney. Because Britney was a true danger to those kids. And I think that Britney still to this day is a danger to anyone that she's around. If you don't believe me, if you don't want to take my word for it, go ask her ex-husband. Okay? Go ask her ex-husband, who would be, paparazzi would follow him around and take photos of him, and he would have black eyes and bruises and scratches all the time. So I am glad that these kids had a father like K-Fed, and that's something I never thought that I would be saying. Because years ago, I bought into all of the propaganda. I drank the Kool-Aid without doing my own research, and I thought that Britney was the good guy in this situation. But no, Britney is the bad guy. Britney is the villain of every scenario that she's in, okay? She's the common denominator. She is the cause of the problems. It's not everyone else around Britney, it's Britney, okay? But let's go ahead and go forward. Remember, we left off when she forced her son, who had already outgrown diapers, to strip naked and put on a purple diaper and embarrass him in front of everyone. Really, really weird stuff. Federline writes that he was worried about his son's visits with the pop star because of her erratic behavior, including another incident in which they came home with their hair bleached. Not just streaked or lightly done, he continues to allege. It was bleached down to their scalps. Their skin was burned. I had to shave their heads, and their scalps looked like leopard print from their chemical burns. Federline claims that once they were teenagers, Preston and Jaden told him they did not want to visit Britney anymore. He also claims they started recording incidents with Britney on their phones, including her allegedly screaming at Preston for not wearing a shirt she wanted him to wear for an Instagram picture. After Federline and his sons moved to Hawaii, he writes that they hit a breaking point in their relationship with Britney. Federline claims that Preston had an argument with Britney on the phone, and that Britney told him that Britney told him that she wished that he and his brother were dead. How could a mother say that to her son, he asks. Preston, having dealt with her vitriol for years, took it better than I did. He understood her anger and instability, but it didn't make it any less painful. Trauma like that left scars. Ones I fear they'll carry for the rest of their lives, he continues. He also claims that Spears would watch her son sleep with a knife in her hand, and that she did cocaine while breastfeeding. So, oh man. Folks, this is the stuff that we're learning ahead of the book releasing. So, God knows what's within that book. I'm scared to read it at this point because how can it get worse than what we've already heard? And like I was explaining before I hopped into that article, I am glad that K-Fed is speaking out. Because for years we've heard from Britney, and Britney has used her platform to attack her dad, her mom, her sister, her sister's kids. She's attacked Kevin Federline. Hell, Britney attacks her own kids. Britney weaponized her fan base and sent them to attack her own kids and to attack her sister's kids. These are the things that Britney Spears has done. I have witnessed it. I covered it as it was happening. But now we know that not only did Britney have her fans sending death threats to her kids, she was sending death threats to her own kids. She was telling her own kids that she wanted them dead. All because they didn't want to be around her because they were embarrassed by her being naked on Instagram every day. And their classmates and their friends were making fun of them, pulling up videos of their mom, dancing around half naked on Instagram, talking crazy, looking like she's drugged out of her mind. They told her that that wasn't okay with them, that it made them uncomfortable. And she attacked them. She wished death upon them. And then she weaponized her fan base to go after them and harass them. And they tracked down their social media accounts. They tracked down their friends' social media accounts. And they harassed them for months on end. Still to this day, they probably get harassed by these psychos. So yeah, I think it's time that Britney gets a taste of her own medicine. You wanted to And it's funny because Britney released her own book. And in her book, she did her best to trash K-Fed and Justin Timberlake and all of these other people for no reason. She's constantly attacking and trashing other people. And then she gets a dose of her own medicine, and then she plays victim. So I think it's about time that someone steps up and speaks out against the BS that she's been spreading. And I think that her sister and her father and everyone else should start speaking out as well. Because all of the stuff that we were told about the conservatorship, the majority of it was false. And when Britney had an opportunity to expose all of the crazy stuff that was done to her, she released a book. And within that book, we come to find out that nothing that bad was done to her during the conservatorship. In fact, all of these people, the only thing they really did wrong was they noticed that Britney was crazy and needed help. They did not know how to help Britney. I don't think anyone knows how to help Britney, but they tried. They tried, okay? And maybe it backfired. Maybe it didn't go so well. But at the end of the day, you know, all of these people, Britney's family, they were not out to get her. They were trying to help her. And in response, she has gone off the deep end even more. And like I said, she attacks these people every day. So seeing K-Fed stand up and say something, I think that's a good thing. Because I don't think he's doing this for himself. I think he's doing this for his kids as well. Because his kids aren't going to use their voice to speak out against their mother. The kids haven't been able to defend themselves, so K-Fed is defending them. K-Fed is putting it all out there. Since Britney wants to put people's business out there and constantly go on and on about stuff, K-Fed said, you know what, all right, I'll play your game. And now that we see it, it looks like K-Fed had the real juicy information. Britney's book was complete trash. But there's a lot more stuff that has been revealed, and we'll talk about that in future videos. For now, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.